Hello friends, this is Leo and welcome to the post-market report of Nifty and BankNifty. So let's go and take a look at the BankNifty futures chart. So BankNifty closed around 23,640 on Friday, and it had a gap down point of at least 120 plus points today. And from there on, there is a big sell-off, and it went all the way down, and it took a support at the Camarilla pivot, which is at L5, okay, and from there it bounced back to the CPR, okay. So one might ask, like, how do I know that this is going to be a turning point for the day, right? And it is quite interesting to know that we can see that in the order flow chart. But while we look at the Nifty chart in the trading view, we can see some buying has emerged at these levels, which is around at 23,400, 440 level. And from there, market went all the way up to 23,659, right? And it just kind of rotated around these levels. So here you would have got 200 points move, okay, in Nifty. Now let's go and take a look at this sector and understand how we can capture these in the order flow chart. And this is where the order flow chart will be very useful, and we can identify how we can spot the buyers and sellers and the imbalance and various things that is predominantly related to the order flow technology. Now let's go and take a look at the order flow chart. So market fell down, right? And there was an weakness stepped up at these level at around 935, okay? And at around 945, 950, 955, around that level, you can see that there was a POC migration happening down. And from here, the POC migration stopped. And there is a good amount of sellers trapped at these level, and from there the buyer stepped in and pushed with a good volume. Okay, these are all volume data. Okay, the good volume, and then the price moved higher till the closure. Okay, it kind of filled in these gaps as well, and it actually closed in positive. Okay, so this is an important feature while we look at the order flow chart, that how do we know that this is a bottom and where the market would reverse. Okay, if you look at this level, you can see there is a magenta color, and you can see the max delta is 0. Okay, which means there is no bias taking any control on this particular candle. Okay, now what would happen technically is there should be a follow through. So this indicates that buyers, sellers are in full control. Okay. But what should have happened is market should have fell down further. But instead, what happened was buyers stepped in. So this is a kind of a demand zone. Okay. And let me go back to the profile chart, and I can explain to you in a better way. So if you look at this, which I have posted in the Twitter this morning, you can see this. This is the last week low, and this is again the today's low. Okay, so we can expect some bit of a reaction at these low levels where the buyers could step in. This is what exactly has happened today. So we have a reference point in the market profile. Okay, and we have a validation confirmation from the order flow chart here, and then the market never looked back after that. Okay, it closed at the high point of the day. Okay, so in fact it has closed the gap as well, right? And we can see that in the chart here. Okay, so this is a very important concept. If one want to know this, you can comment order flow in the comment section, and I can explain these things in detail, okay? Which is going to be very, very useful for the people who want to do a scalping, and or else, if people want to do any kind of a swing trading, it could be very helpful for them, okay? And remember, this is purely for education purposes, and I'm not selling buy or sell, but for you to understand the market profile, order flow, and various things, it is going to be very, very helpful, okay? Now let's go and take a look at the Bank Nifty chart, okay? So Bank Nifty futures closed at around 53,900 levels on Friday, and it opened almost like 400 to 500 point gap down, right? And if you look at this is a pivot point, standard pivot, and this is the S3 pivot, okay? And from this S3 pivot, market has bounced back, okay? And you can see that here, right? You can see that the market has bounced back. So we use the pivot point as a reference, because that has been a proven technology wherein pivots would in fact act as a point of control or probably a value area high or low, depending upon the context. Okay, so one should probably look at this as a reference point and then come back to the order flow chart, and we can look at what has happened at these levels exactly, right? And this is at around, let's see, at around 10:30, right? So if you go and look at around 10:30, you can see that there's a lot of tug of war going between the supply and the demand, right? Which is buyers and sellers, okay? Buyers and sellers, okay? And there's a lot of weakness shown at these levels. And this is again a prominent POC. If you notice this color, this is a prominent POC on the buy side, okay? And there's a prominent POC on the buy side. And if you look at this specific candle, this is technically a trap, which I have posted in my Twitter account. You can probably go and take a look at this. And this is something that I have seen it in the chart today, and I have posted it, okay? If you look at this specific candle, buyers were trying to defend these levels, right? Whereas sellers were trying to push it hard, okay? Again, if you look at this max delta, and you can see the magenta color at the bottom of a percentage. And you can see a lot of selling has happened, but these sellers are late sellers, okay? Which means they are technically trapped at these locations, which is at around 5,200, 5,800 levels or 900 levels. Now, if I scroll to the right, you can see that the market has reversed from there. There was a small test has happened at these levels. These indicators are all my custom indicators, okay? And this is not available anywhere. And if you look at this from here also, there is an buyer's push happened at these levels. And from there on, market has moved higher. And there were some, big candle with buying and selling activity. But again, the market has closed almost at the top, okay? And if you see that, you can see that at this here. So market has literally moved from here, to previous day low, which is at 53,730. Market has moved from 52,872, which is 900 almost like. So it rallied about 700 points today, okay? And even if you look at this, there was a buying indication here. Though there was a selling indication, it is going to be only a back-to-back stop loss, right? And from here, market has emerged. And if one have seen this kind of a setup, the buyers are chipping in at these levels, which is at around 53,330, and it took us resistance at 53,730, okay, which is almost like 400 points. So these are all some of the reference points. These are not buy and sell indicators, okay? Don't think that is a buy and sell simple indicator, but it can be used as a reference for your, understanding and your trading as well. Now, before we close this, let's go and take a look at the profile chart. Now, if you look at the profile, right, this is almost a test happened from the previous few days back's profile, okay? So there was a gap here. This gap was filled, and I was talking about this gap for a while, and I was expecting that the market may not fill this gap, but fortunately or unfortunately, market has chosen to fill those gaps, and then it's moving higher now. Okay, now it is interesting because these gaps are filled, right? And you have a lot of activities happen at these areas, and I would expect the market to come back and test these levels in the upcoming days. Okay, so in order for you to do a analysis with market profile, order flow, and the trading view script charts, right? If you put all these things together, it'll be very easy for you to spot where the reverse can take place, potentially a reverse can take place, right? Or a potentially a resistance would emerge, okay? And these kind of tools is very useful for you to become a successful trader. If you really enjoy this video and if you find this video very informative, right? If you want to learn more about the order flow, market profile, or the TV scripts, share your comments as order flow, and I will schedule a special Zoom sessions for the people who are interested and who can help shape their trading career in the next 3 to 6 months period of time. Okay, and I hope you find this video useful. If you like it, share it. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and give a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Jai Hind. Bye-bye.